it's a miserable rainy day, which we had already thought was happening anyways. That's why we pushed so hard this weekend to get all those fence posts in. But I've decided I'm going to tackle maybe shearing a few sheep. The fleece was beautiful after being out in the pasture the last few dry days. Lots of burrs, so there's going to be a lot of it that goes into the garbage pile, but I'd like to get a little bit off. The Icelandics do need to be sheared twice a year in order for their fleece to be tip-top. We have been very neglectful in the past and done just the once a year on most of them, and so this year I'm trying doing all the adult ones, shear them down now. But anyways, we'll see if we can get a little bit better fleece out of our spring fleeces here. I know a lot of people would discard spring fleece because of being in the barn and they'd be dirty, but to be honest, the Icelandic fleece is beautiful even in the spring. So anyways, I'm going to try and take you through that. It's a bit of an adventure. We do the old-fashioned hand jobbies. These ones are a little bit dull, so we're going to see how that works. These are my favorite. I love these small guys. We also have a set of the big guys. I don't feel I have as much control with these. Haven't nicked anybody, so that's a good thing, but just not my preferred, as you can see, because they are still really sharp. They're not used as much as the other ones. So we do have to get down to the shop, get another couple pairs of these, because I really like these and I prefer not to have to stop and sharpen them in between. To be honest, I broke my sharpener this spring, so these have not been sharpened. They've done all the sheep this spring. We're going to tackle it again. I did use a little file just to kind of give it a cleanup, and hopefully that will work. They sound not too bad. They cut through paper, which is a good gauge to make sure that they're tight. I'm going to try and take you through this. We do shear all of them ourselves by hand, or clean, card, spin, knit, if we can. The big goal eventually would be to get these fleeces processed, especially as we start to get more sheep at the new place. You know, that is the goal, to get them processed into yarn to sell. Realistically, running the farm and everything else, there's no way we can card and spin everything. You can't do everything, basically, is the gist of it. But I'm going to give this a shot and we'll talk you through it. But we are starting out with Lyla. Come on, Lyla. Hey. Lyla is my only solid white sheep and a fleece that I do not want to lose, because I really would like to do some work with dyeing eventually. You can see here Lyla has beautiful, nice thick undercoat in her fleece. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Stay, Lyla. This is what you want right there. She's got a beautiful, beautiful underfleece. So unfortunately, because we started pasturing them this year out in the back, there's burrs. So these are the chunks here I'm going to have to cut out. Nice, sweetie. That's the beauty kind of doing it by hand. I can do that as I go. You can see in her neck here, she's got quite a bit of it. They don't like this. They know something's up. Hey, sweetie. Anyways, we're going to get started. What do you think, Lyla? Not sure how well we can see here, but I'm trying to work on the best angle to get an idea of what we're doing. So we've got Lyla here, and basically what I often do is I just start with a straight cut down the back. This time I might actually cut off some of these burrs here first. What I might try and do is get a little bit of these burrs out of here first before we start our main cut. Hey, sweetie, just wait. We just kind of, yeah. Hey, sweetie, I know. They hate shearing. Shearing time. But yeah, I'm just going to cut out some of those burrs just like that, so that we got a nice clean fleece. Is it desirable? No. But until we get rid of the burrs out in the pasture, it is what it's going to be. And of course, Lila's not going to like standing here for this. Hey, I know. Let's see if we can get, let's see if we can get all these out of here. She's got such soft, beautiful fleece. Hey, girl. Well, you're the one who went through the burrs. They're not all, to be honest, most of our Icelandics, after working with them for a year or two, are about like this. She'll pull back occasionally and you have to check her or pull her forward, but for the most part she knows what we're doing, and once we get started she's fine. So we've got all the burrs out of Lyla. Here we can tell. And now I can really show you that fleece that I was talking about. Basically you have on an Icelandic, you have a Tog and a Thell, an undercoat, as well as those longer kind of guard hairs that waterproof their fleece. The undercoat is amazingly soft. When you spin this, you can separate it and make baby fine, baby soft kind of clothing and things out of it. It is super, super fine and super soft. Most of my stuff I do a Lopi style, which is spinning both hairs together. And that's great for mittens, scarves. Now Lyla, I'm not sure if it's just because she's white. We don't have a lot of experience with spinning different fibers, but Lyla's fleece is soft, 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 even done Lopi style. I have not actually separated her Tog and Thell before, so I might actually try that this time just to see how easy, it's okay, sweetheart, how baby soft that actually is, because she is definitely our nicest fleece sheep, and we would love to get another one of her, wouldn't we, Lyla? She's like, just get this shearing done already. So I've started here on Lyla. We've got her all cleaned up. What I do is I just do a straight cut down her back first to start and get it kind of opened up so I can get in there. And then I just work down one side at a time, just kind of carefully sliding the clippers under. As I said earlier in the video, I don't like these big ones. They are not my favorite to work with, but you can see this is coming off beautifully. For most people, fall fleece is always more desirable than spring. And I'm looking forward to trying to dye some of this over the winter time. But you can see how nice and light and fluffy this is. Maybe I'll grab the camera and just show a bit more. It's a bit of a long-winded process. I by no means claim to be an expert at this. This is just how I do it. Everybody will have their own ways and methods. This is just what works for me. It is time consuming. It does take a lot longer than some other methods that I've seen, but I like it because I don't get the double cuts. And I know there is a proper term for that, and I will try and Google it and write it on here. But when it comes to spinning your fleece, you don't want double cuts in it. It's really annoying to have to go through and pick those out before you spin, or card even. So you can see here, this is where I have sheared, and this is our fleece product. Now, very, very beautiful, light and fluffy. We just put that into a garbage bag, and we'll wash that up and hopefully get to spinning it because it looks gorgeous. You're being a very good girl, Lyla. Very good. As I said, I've been very neglectful in shearing them in the fall. We tend to get other things going and it gets too late. We also never had a barn at our old place, so now I don't mind doing it a bit later because they go out in the pasture during the day when it's nice, but they're in the barn at night, so there's no worries about them getting too chilled. I am leaving a lot of extra. As you can see here, still has a really nice layer left, so she's not going to be cold, but I'm still getting a lot of this beautiful, beautiful fleece. Anyways, I'm going to get going on this before she gets irritated, and we'll come back at the end for a final reveal of our sheared sheep. We'll just show you how she's looking right now. Hang on. Stay there, Lyla. So there you can see her fleece. I have cut off, obviously, the burrs. We are probably the long hairs. Let me just see. You know, we're approaching probably 4 inches on her, which is good. You really don't want more than 6 because that gets awkward to spin. And also, if we do go down the line of processing, getting it sent out to be processed, I believe they won't process it if it's over 6 inches. So we've got to get better at this anyways. But I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to keep going with this before she gets irritated. We're about an hour in. It does take a long time when doing it by hand. At least I find it is. Mostly because I'm nervous. I don't want to cut anybody or do anything, whatever. But Lyla is done on her body and looking really good. The only thing that was left was her neck, and she's not super cooperative, so I'm going to wait for Chris to do that, because if I was using my little shears, I'd be okay, but with the big ones, I don't want to cut her. Right now, we have a good relationship, and I don't want to ruin that. But all in all, she's looking really good. I've got fleece kind of scattered everywhere. There's a lot of, I skirted her as I went, so there's a lot of kind of offcuts that'll just go in the compost or whatnot. Hey, Lyla, you ready to join the others? But we will check her feet, and then she'll head back in, and then I'll show you some fleece. We have finished up Lyla, other than her neck or mane or whatever. She's kind of like a lion's mane. Basically, without being able to use my little, not pruners, my little clippers, shears, I didn't feel comfortable doing that on my own. What I'll do is we'll get Chris to come out, and he'll hold her head so that she keeps it up to cut all that stuff underneath. I just don't want to risk cutting her or upsetting her, and she was getting a little fidgety by the end. As I said, almost an hour, just mostly because the fleece was in such a state. I mean, I cut out, I'll show you the pile, I cut out tons of burrs and mats and things like that she's gained over the summer. But final product on the fleece, we've got a bag full here. And so I'm just showing you. I mean, it is absolutely to die for fleece. I mean, I don't know, you know, there's a few spinners out there, and definitely give it a shot. I love this. Now, if I separate out one kind of flock? I don't know. If I separate out one chunk of her fleece there, you can see we are, let me get it onto the screen here. We are about 6 inches in length, the ends of these guard hairs. But one thing that you can do, now the longer hairs are called the Tog, I believe, and the as you can see, it's denser in this section. That would be the Thell hairs. Now, if I take these long ones and give them a, now I'm not an expert at this. I know you can get very, you know, detailed in this work and actually go down to just the Thell hairs. Now, I've not done a lot with that, but I'm just going to demonstrate here. If we take this, I hold the end hairs here and hold the Thell hairs up here, and if I just pull, oops, I had some Thell hairs stay, and this is a little bit, okay. So, there you have Tog hair. It's longer. I apologize for the pigs. Maybe I'll just shut them up. Hang on one second. All right, so there you have the long Thell or Tog hairs. Now on Lyla, these are still exceptionally soft. I mean, you know, it's not scratchy or itchy at all, but the strength in those is amazing. And being that they're 6 inches in length, this makes a really, really, really strong yarn. You know, I mean, you could even go to the point of making twine or rope with it, I would have thought. But like I say, I just spin it all together as one lopey yarn. But quite straight, really. I mean, they've got a little bit of a kink. It really depends on the individual animal and their fleece, because some of them have a curly Tog and some are straight. Lila's is a straight, which might be part of why it stays so nice and soft. And then here you have the fluffy Thell. And again, I mean, you're 2.5, 3 inches. Now, this would have been longer if I had sheared closer to the skin. If I had been using clippers, you probably would have had another 1/2 inch at least. Like I say, going into the winter, I don't want to shear them short, so I've left it. I still have a few of the Tog hairs in there that we could You know, like I say, if you want to get fussier, you can still take those out. And you're left with this beautiful fluff, which once spun, it spins very fine, and you could knit that, or I've not tried weaving it into some sort of material, but you could definitely go through the process of separating your hairs and spinning that just to be a beautiful scarf, or something that's close to the skin and soft, and it would be lovely. I mean, you could make baby's underwear out of that. It is so soft. But there'll be more to come on all that sort of stuff. This was just sort of something that I got up to today, and I thought I would share the shearing process. Like I say, I've got, what have I got? 10 more to go. I'm not going to do the lamb fleeces this year. I'm only going to do them in the spring. I've never had a problem doing that, and then I get a lot more nice long lamb fleece. But I am going to do all the adults, because I do find the adults come spring break, which is when they kind of naturally shed, and it's often wet and that time of year, and it ends up a matted mess that is really hard to work with, or you've got to shear them really early. So I'm hoping by shearing the girls a little this fall that we won't have that problem. I hear some rallying going on here. This usually happens once we shear someone. Hey, who's fighting? Hey, it looks like it's Beauty and Lyla over here. This usually happens when we shear. I think they come back smelling different potentially, or looking different, and there's a whole process again of who's the queen bee. And right now, Lyla has always been the lead sheep and kind of the queen, but Beauty is getting older, and she is definitely bigger. So they've got to sort out their differences. This will take probably a while. Anyways, that's my shearing for this morning. I might do another one later, but same process, just different sheep.